Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Yesterday, the RBA kept interest rates unchanged and preserved the record low cash rate at 1.5% after its monthly board meeting. The RBA has continued to distance itself from further interest rate cuts to support economic growth, and the policymakers confront the risks now of an overheating housing market. Later this morning is the release of the national accounts data, or the GDP, which is expected to show the weakest annual growth rate since 2009 and the second negative quarter in the past 9 months. Market forecast is at 0.2% and the previous release was at 1.1. What's helping the Australian dollar rally also is the commodity-based currency see the gold of rallying to a 4-week high of 1,295. However, that being said, I still expect to see resistance holding around 75.1525 and expect to see a pullback towards the support seen at 74.5560 and reassess from there. Well, the euro still maintains to hold beneath that 112.80 figure level, even though the US dollar index did post its lowest level in 7 months at 96.45. The dollar index, which measures the greenback strength against the traded weighted basket of 6 major currencies, is weighted to the euro at 57.6. So if the dollar index continues to sell off, then we could see further pressure to the upside and challenge this level. Now, a break above 113 figure would leave me neutral, and I would like to see, or should I say, reassess and reevaluate the outlook, just in case the market is a false break and we do drop back towards that key level that I'm holding at the moment at 111.70.80. Well, the dollar yen established base at 110.0510 yesterday was crushed by the bears and now records a 2-month low of 109.21. Adding to the downside, the US dollar did sink to a 7-month low, as I mentioned earlier, nearly wiping out all of the gains since President Trump was elected back in November. With uncertainty still remaining to the dollar yen, the US political turmoil is still continuing, with former ex-FBI Director James Comey, who this Thursday will testify about Russia's alleged involvement in the US election and also Trump's alleged attempt to halt an investigation into the former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. So if the bearish journey continues, then we are looking down towards the 108 region, and any advances should find a cap now at 109.75 in the short term. However, if breached, would see a short covering up towards 100.6065 before falling back. The Great British Pound still pretty much unchanged, with the UK election just around the corner. It now looks to see whether the Conservatives can hold on to the lead, with some polls saying that Labour is, though, closing in rapidly. It is considered that the pound will strengthen if the Conservatives do maintain their aim at growing their majority in Parliament, and winning the election would see the pound rally on towards a potential target around 130.60. Now, if the Conservatives do, on the other hand, lose their majority vote, then this would see the pound plummet towards 127 to maybe 125. But I still stress at this stage, until the US election is out of the way, that it's very hard to give any kind of strategy to the pound due to the uncertainty and the whipsaw price action. So we need to get the election, as I mentioned, out of the way to get further assessment to the direction that we can look for in either the trend or what kind of bias is actually telling us from the bulls or bears. So gold overnight did rally to a fresh 4-week high and smashing through the resistances of 85 and 94 to print a high of 95. Now, the bullish charm may continue on, but I do expect to see some hesitancy towards the upside due to the fact the market is overbought. So I'm not really very bullish now at the top side of this range, and I do expect to see a pullback towards 88 to 84 and reassess from there. And to wrap up with oil, well, the market did gather further momentum overnight, but not enough to change the technical implications, which still hold bearish. I expect to see the gains returned and look towards that target of 46, 40, 45 and reassess from there. with resistance seen at 48.80 and firmer above at 49.5. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, look out for the intraday report, and I hope you have a great day ahead.